YathaKatha International Film and Literature Festival celebrates connection between cinema and literature, aiming to bridge the gap between these two art forms. It offers a platform for film screening, book launches, discussion, and educational events. So please put your hands together for YathaKatha.
So, now I would like to call upon on stage Dr. Piyush Roy, sir.
And this is followed by, I would like to call Tanveer Islam on the stage.
तो सबसे पहली बात, how many of you know what's melodrama?
They all are living it nowadays.
Anybody like, so when you see this word, appreciating melodrama, तो melodrama क्या है?
Oh, melodrama, extraness and like reactions and actions.
Unnecessary चीजें, वो melodrama है?
It's the Indian spin on things.
No, melodrama actually, you know,
Extra dramatic.
Yes.
this term actually comes from Greece. So ऐसा नहीं कि, see, it's a very simple, if we break the word, melos and dramos, music and theatre. So anything, any performance that has a musical component to it, through a song form, cinema is melodramatic medium because there is background score. जहाँ background score नहीं है, maybe you can say that it is not. So the basic term is that. So, but we Indians have perfected this into an art form. हर culture में melodrama है. अगर आप देखोगे, see any drama which uses music, and yesterday we had Rajiv ji with us and he gave these very interesting insights into what songs can do. They were all great melodramatic moments, and that's why we remember them. Because when the drama comes with music and the words, then they stay with us forever. तो वो वाली बात है melodrama. And then the next term, the big term is AI. Right? Everybody is nowadays talking about it, right? So अब AI के बारे में क्या idea है? What does AI do? Artificial intelligence.
So can I say this?
Yes, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
So it learns how to emote itself.
Yes, yeah. So matlab, a program can it start doing melodrama? So that's the larger question, like, and the whole big debate that has come into the industry and all the writing industry, creative industry is that AI के बाद क्या होगा? कितनी सारी jobs चली जाएंगी? Because ChatGPT आपके लिए script लिख के दे सकता है, right? तो writers कहाँ जाएंगे? Now you have bots acting up also. So what will happen of actors? You just record their behavior and keep repeating it. And so I will take you a little back to I don't think Gen Z was there, but we were all there when VCR and that whole thing of films came. And then there was this huge thing कि अभी सिनेमा कौन देखेगा? सब तो घर में बैठ के VCR में भी मूवी देख सकते हैं. I think Gen Z can relate with Netflix, Amazon, OTT. Again the same thing. Like, but do you really think that can replace the big screen entertainment? So it's meant for that. So it's a workshop. So can we go to the first Word document, which is called ChatGPT Stories. So I typed out this thing today on ChatGPT. Give me a scene. थोड़ा नीचे ले लीजिए so that I get opening scene of a boy meet girl story. You know, कोई भी plot वहीं से शुरू होता है, दो लोग मिलते हैं. So I thought let's do with the most popular genre, which is romance. So ये मैंने type कर दिया. Boy meet girl story. Give me the opening scene. So what does it say? The aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the air as soft jazz music plays in the background. The cozy dim lit coffee shop is sparsely populated with a few customers seated at tables, absorbed in their books, laptops, conversations. Brilliant scene setting. At the corner table is Jason. उसका description भी है, early 30s, disabled hair, glasses, sits alone, hunched over his laptop, typing away. His face is buried in the glow of the screen. A half-empty coffee cup sits forgotten beside him. Across the room, Emma, late 20s, elegant, poised, enters a small notepad in one hand and a pen in the other, scans the room for an empty seat. मतलब पूरी detailing है scene की. And you know, like we writers, and there were lots of writers here, how much we agonize to think about this. ये scene लिखने के लिए कितना time लगता था? Can you know how long it took me to get this opening scene? Exactly 5 seconds. I typed it out and this came out. So let's go आगे. तो then क्या होता है पहला action moment. So now the dialogue begins. Emma takes a hesitant step towards Jason's table, her eyes locked on the empty seat, clears her throat softly. Puri detailing है, like this is what a screenplay is. You actually see the film before you. And Jason says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize someone was looking for a seat. No worries, I was just hoping to find a quiet place to work. Mind if I join you? Then let's go out. Let's look at the whole scene. और थोड़ा ऊपर ले लीजिए. पूरा scene, हाँ, ठीक है बस. So this is the setting. लोग मिलते हैं, वो एक chair offer करता है, their eyes meet briefly, and this, as they say, is where the story begins. आपका scene तैयार. Then आप next prompt दो, next plot turn, अगला scene आ जाएगा. So you have what? You have a screenplay done in 5 minutes of a short film in an hour. But वो plot turns आपको सोचना है. वो वाली सोच कहाँ से लाओगे आप? क्योंकि prompts will give you general stuff. And today's day and age, in OTT and all, when there is a plethora of content, there's too much of everything. So the next big churn will be about what is different. So उसके लिए then I thought I will give this chat GPT a tougher scene. So just let's go to the next page. I asked them of a Urdu speaking boy meeting a Bengali speaking girl. And then the fun begins. And then you will know why you need the human beings and what AI can't do. Again, college cafeteria, data to feed होता है तो नाम अच्छा ले लिया. Shahid, early 20s, dressed casually, flips through a book of Urdu poetry, lost in the verses and savoring the flavors of home. Across his Rima, colorful sari, stands at a Bengali food counter, deciding between various fish dishes. Like so typical of, you know, आप generalization की बात करते हैं, stereotyping की बात करते हैं, ये AI आपको करके देगा. जो इंसान में जो nuance है, वो AI नहीं दे सकता है, क्योंकि शाहिद वहाँ पे फैज पढ़ रहा है या गालिब पढ़ रहा है, उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि वो किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट से आता है. वो लखनऊ से है या वो बंगाल से है, वो नजरुल इस्लाम को सुन रहा है, तो you are just generalize like a stereotype image of a Muslim boy. And this is problematic because this is not giving you depth. Look at Rima, dressed in a colorful sari, what? Tangai or you know, any of these great saris that. So ये detailing पहले होता था, जैसे भानु अत्रेया जो costume design करती थी, तो इन सब चीजों पे तो वो उसका knowledge AI के पास नहीं है. So you know, this is where, so you can clearly see, yes, ऐसे सुनने के लिए कि सारा writing job AI ले जाएगा, but जो डिटेलिंग की जरूरत है वो आपको AI नहीं दे सकता है कि ये लोग सुनते क्या हैं. Okay, let's go a little down. Rima takes a step from the counter with a chosen dish. She accidentally bumps into a student, causing her plate to wobble dangerously. Shahid, noticing the impending disaster, leaps from his seat, catches the plate in time, saving her meal. Just इसकी पहली वाली सीन के बारे में सोचिए. This is what AI does. उसके पास को डेटा प्रॉम्प्ट है, वो वही सीन को रिपीट कर रहा है, लोग बदल दिए. So you get it. So this is the huge limitation. And क्या होता है, I as a when I teach cinema, I get also submissions from nowadays with students sending all AI scripts. पता चल जाता है, तो उसमें ये वाली limitations आती है, आपका context नहीं आता, आपका culture नहीं आता. और I think it's a good time to have this session after these 2 days of conversations, क्योंकि जो सारी बातें अब तक हुई हैं, उन सबको कल एक बहुत important session हुआ था culture in music, उससे पहले story in music, story in the song. तो ये सब it's like a nice culmination for those who have been in all the sessions. You can see that. Then okay, let's go forward a little down. Again, same thing, their eyes meeting the gap, bridging the gap and all. And then, okay, they have a dialogue. What problem is this dialogue, anyone?
And the
Yes.
pronunciation.
Will Shahid speak in English? Because उर्दू में डायलॉग होना चाहिए ना, तो वो नहीं आता है. तो किसी को तो चाहिए जो इस एसेंस को ट्रांसलेट करेगा, वो वर्ड्स लेके आएगा, वो जुबान लेके आएगा. तो you know that's the other limitation. So all aspiring writers, don't get worried. You know AI can't take your jobs. So that's the crux of the story. And of course melodrama becomes something, you know, there is एक और गिरीश कासरवली हमारे बैंगलोर के बहुत बड़े फिल्म मेकर हैं. उन्होंने एक मूवी करी थी कुर्मावतार. इसी टोके मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ तो चलेगा ना? हाँ. तो कुर्मावतार का सीन ऐसा है कि इट्स अबाउट दिस रिटायर्ड हेड क्लर्क who looks like Gandhi, and then there are this bunch of young filmmakers. They are the Xanax of their time because the film is set in early 2000s. तो वो गांधी पे सीरीज कर रहे हैं और उन्होंने इन बंदे को कास्ट किया है. तो they do couple of political scenes और वो सब अच्छे से कैन होते हैं. Then the scene comes of the death of Kasturba Gandhi. Now you know who Kasturba Gandhi is? Everybody? पता है कौन है कस्तूरबा जी? कौन है? Yes. तो now he says, the director gives the teleprompter, उनको बोलता है कि सर आपका ना आप ऐसे रोइए कि you should look serious and one teardrop has to fall from your eye like Ben Kingsley did in Attenborough's Gandhi. Now this guy has also lost his wife in his real life. He says Gandhi was married to Kasturba when they were teenagers. They have literally grown their entire life together. And if you look at the speeches of Gandhi, he was a very passionate speaker. He was very melodramatic. I mean, no music, but okay, he was very dramatic. How do you think somebody who has lost his lifelong friend to be composed and shed one tear from one eye, and you know that is the unrealism happening here in the name of realism. मतलब इतना रोना सही है और इतना रोना गलत है, ये कौन डिसाइड करता है? And let's not put these template of certain form of narrative as a universal narrative, and that's why we need to claim it back, and we need to claim it back more, and that's precisely what the new generation of writers can do. And just to give you an example of how AI writing, you can feed AI to do a classic story. मतलब मुगले आजम का एक सीन बताओ और AI लिख के देगा आपको. तो वो जो ओरिजिनल और वो जो डेटा फीडेड कंटेंट निकलता है, उन दोनों में फर्क देखने के लिए कैन वी प्ले द नेक्स्ट वीडियो? दिस इज कॉल्ड इन आँखों की मस्ती. वो वाला वीडियो प्ले करेंगे.
दिल ही नहीं हुजूर, मेरी जान लीजिए, बस एक बार मेरा कहा मान लीजिए.
मतलब बुरा नहीं है, लेकिन दो बातों के ध्यान रखा करो. एक तो ख्याल की नजाकत और दूसरे अल्फाज की बर्दिश. मीर का शेर है, नाजुकी उसके लग की क्या कहिए, नाजुकी उसके लग की क्या कहिए, पंखड़ी एक गुलाब की सी. हाँ, लेकिन मधु साहब आप तो उस्तादों की बात कर रहे हैं, इन्होंने तो अभी शुरू की है शायरी.
मतलब की इस्लाह कीजिए ना मौलवी साहब.
अच्छा, तुमने कहा है दिल ही नहीं हुजूर मेरी जान लीजिए, दिल ही नहीं हुजूर. इसे मैं यूं कहूं ना, दिल चीज क्या है आप मेरी जान लीजिए.
in this song and where it begins from, that the 2-minute dialogue sequence that happens before it. So, something that Rekha ji was telling yesterday, like Rekha Bharat was, not, not Rekha, the actor, that the pronunciation and the language and why it is so important. And now see, all these people, they are actually wearing the costumes which were won over, जिनको लखनऊ के नवाब लोग पहनते थे. So the costume designer procured that. Rekha went through she's not a trained Kathak dancer, but she went through the training to do the performance. And then the nazakat और ये जो सारी चीजें जो इस गाने में आ रही हैं, that happens only because of the context of the director. Muzaffar Ali himself is a Nawab. He understands that ethos and the ecosystem, and that's why he's able to bring that in his actors. And now, but if you give a chat GPT prompt, I want to write a scene where people are entering a courtesan's room, and so it will give you a brief, and she has to sing a song to kind of entertain the audience, kind of a thing. तो वो prompt अगर जो जाएगा, तो वो किस तरह का content निकल के आएगा? I'm going to show you another very similar situation. Of course, I am not saying it is done through ChatGPT mode, but you can see the difference, and I will tell you about the difference. क्योंकि मुज़फ़्फ़र अली अपने biography में ये लिखते हैं, one of the best written autobiographies that have come out of the industry in recent times, कि JNU की एक scholar जाके उनको कहती है कि I want to study the Lucknow of your times, of the Umrao Jan time, and can you tell me where all I need to go and to see? And he says, आप लखनऊ तो जा सकते हो, पर वो वाली लखनऊ अब नहीं रही. I don't think you will get that. So let's look at the next clip.
Salam, salam. तुम्हारी महफिल में आ गए हैं, तुम्हारी महफिल में आ गए हैं, तो क्यों ना हम ये भी काम कर लें. सलाम करने की आरज़ू है, सलाम करने की आरज़ू है, इधर जो देखो सलाम कर लें.
Okay, so this is what you see when a high quotation act is turned into an item number. So the thumkas and latkas and jhatkas. Quotations के बारे में I'll give you a little bit of history. Around the first war of independence, 1857, Awadh, Lucknow and all, they were, and these are records in the British government, they were the highest taxpayers in the country. So they were not prostitutes and all, how it's been kind of, they were like what you can say somebody equivalent to maybe your topmost actor of the present times. That's the respect they earned. They didn't go and perform in places, people came to their place. They were poets, as that's why I showed you that scene from Umrao Jan, the other one. वो शायरी करते थे, वो लिखते थे. They were carriers of legacy, of literature, of music, of the gharanas. And so these were people जिनके वहाँ आके बैठना was a matter of huge respect. And this tradition goes back. It's not like you had people like Vasant Sena, Amrapali. You read about them Amrapali used to sit in the court of the royal court of Vaishali, which was actually the first democracy. So it's not like democracy was an idea born in the West. We had democracies in this country also. So, and Kalinga was a democracy. So, but that's a history lesson. So now this is what happens when you don't know the context and the culture, And I actually saw an interview of Amit ji, where he is, and so I am borrowing some of these points from that, and he was very categorical. He was comparing the old Umraujan with the new Umraujan, and he says that I know that he told Abhishek and Aishwarya that they couldn't get it, and it was not their fault because the people who were directing them didn't know that ethos. You need to know it to get that nuance to your actor. So you can't blame the actor. The actors are putting their best, but you know, like see, going to each. It's like a customer-client kind of a relationship. It is not like a mushaira where the performer sits there and the audience sits there and they just perform. And you are there to behold that, and that's what Umraujan was. So ये होता है, and ये चीज़ आपको AI ये नहीं कर सकता है.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
I met Khayyam Saab, the music director of Umraujan, as it happened for some other film, but coincidentally after this Umraujan music was out. So I asked him, Khayyam Saab, अभी जो नई उमरावजान निकला है उसके म्यूजिक के बारे में आपको क्या? बेटे उस लड़के ने बहुत कमाल काम किया है और मैं ये कह रहा हूँ इसके लिए, मैंने बोला बट आपके काम के सामने नहीं, मैं इसके लिए बोल रहा हूँ कि उसके पास ना आशा भोसले है, ना मुजफ्फर अली है, ना शहरयार है जिसने गाने लिखे. वो आज के दौर के लोगों के साथ he has come out with something exceptional. This is the point he said to me, and he said "Rudekha bhi nahi hai."
Yes,
so that adds to Amitabh's.
Right. And of course, Umraujan is still now considered a classic. It was a hit at its time of release, and it has a legacy. I don't think many remember this film. It has just come and gone. So that's why, coming back to that core question, melodrama in the age of AI. See, melodrama is something that is EQ, emotional quotient. It comes from your own experience, your own contextualization of human scenarios which have been same all the time. मतलब लड़ाई होता है, लोग प्यार में दिल टूटता है. These are all universal stories. It's been happening for generations and generations. But what you bring is that your contextual experience, and that makes a love story coming out of South Korea very different from the one coming out of Bengal or the one coming out of Kerala or coming out of Latin America. So you know that's the differential. So yes, if anybody aspiring writers, filmmakers and all, this is actually what the good thing that AI will be doing is it is going to remove all the assembly line creators and the dumb jobs. You have to really bring in the differential to survive now. क्योंकि you have the battle is with, अगर आप फॉर्मूला रिप्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, AI के पास सारे फॉर्मूलाज हैं, तो आपको कुछ हट के अपनी वो लाना पड़ेगा. So that's it. So I will like to sign off with a little advert for a soap product, but it talks something about just stepping out of our screens and other things and just looking around, and you will get inspirations, ideas, music, everything is out there. So can we play the last clip?
The person you are trying to call is currently busy. The person you are trying to call is currently busy. Busy in a world that needs no buffering. A world where you log in without a password. Where you are guided by your heart, not an app. Where you filter your thoughts, not photographs. It's a wonderful world. Maybe you should visit it sometime. It's where you make a friend without a request. Have a conversation without a character limit. Hear a tweet instead of reading one. Play, but not on a screen. It's where your time is more valuable than your timeline. Where you live your life and not scroll through it.
So this is essential, but if you want to be creative, I think you need to take a break from this. So and only then you will be able to give something that, because this knows everything, your location, your tastes, your preferences, and literally everything.
Sir, mic please.
So you have to take a break from this to when you want to create. And that creation, like all the greats that have happened before, they didn't have any distraction, and it all begins with the habit of seeing things with more engagement, and then you will be able to come up with new insights, which will be next presented by Tanveer. He's a second year undergraduate student of filmmaking major at the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences at RB University, and he has done a very interesting take on Amar Akbar Anthony that maybe you would like to give a little intro, and then we can see your video essay. Yes. Over to you, Tanvi.
Well, about AI and melodrama, I would first like to define how AI operates in the first place. Like, suppose you are discussing about your mood. Okay, you can be happy or you can be sad. This is a scale, right? So in this scale, like there are infinite points that make up this scale, and basically you cannot just be at one single point and you say, oh, I'm this person happy or this person, sad. You just can't do that. This is impossible to do, because within that percentage there lies again an infinite set of percentages inside that percentage. So the thing is, basically what AI can do is give you a range from this to this, and within the range there are infinite possibilities. What you have to do is you have to choose one of those possibilities and emote it through your emotions. This is how we are different from AI. So I basically made a video essay on Amar Akbar Anthony. There's not much AI in there, but I did talk a lot about the three states of mind, and it's similar to Freud's concept of id ego and alter ego. So we'll be playing that video. I hope you like it. I tried to make it as funny as possible.
I still had a point, like as you mentioned, telepathy. So so when it comes to telepathy, we both are thinking the same thing. It still comes to the point of thinking, right?
Oh no.
Okay.
So let's watch this film, and then we can take some question answers after.
Is juxtaposition by the hemoglobin in the atmosphere because you are a sophisticated rhetorician intoxicated by the exuberance of your own verbosity! My name is Anthony Gonzalez.
Carefully crafted by Manmohan Desai and narrated by Kader Khan, Amar Akbar Anthony is one of the best known accomplishments of Hindi cinema. But it is also known to be ridiculed by some who do not understand the perspective of the film. The narrative is a chain reaction. One act leads to another, and this process does not stop. In fact, it unleashes a force of entropy that follows down the line in the films that succeeded, like Buddha Hoga Tera Baap or Fir Hera Fairy, and many more. This entropy works by inculcating the two most fundamental aspects of human psyche, which is rationality and ambiguity. Technically speaking, the human psyche is a three-way sandwich that involves three states of mind. These are ahamkara, the self, atman, real you, and adhideva, which is the astral you. And this film takes about all these realms of mental existence in a very lucrative way that makes its plot so strong and engaging. It works on the principle that an artist is only an artist if he can make meaning out of the meaningless, which can clearly be seen in many art movements like Dadaism, German Expressionism, Surrealism, Cubism, and many more. It is like writing a data poem where all you have to do is take a newspaper, cut down the words, put them in a bag, jumble them, and pick one at a time and place them on your workspace to get the poem. Atman and Ahamkara are linked by a thread of consciousness which is abstract and ambiguous, while Adhideva and Ahamkara are linked by a thread of consciousness which is rational in nature. When you try making something meaningless into something that's meaningful, you pull down the threads and make the sandwich whole. And believe me, it requires tremendous mental energy to accomplish this, near equivalent to creating another Big Bang. And Manmohan Desai has been able to do it with one single film. We ought to be proud of that. Now the question is how he did it. See for yourself.
बस हो गया पिटाई गुड गुड
The scene from the film shows how alcohol can act as a perfect catalyst to connect your Atman and Ahamkara. Anthony here undergoes what psychologists would say a personality split under the effect of alcohol. He turns to his Atman and treats his Ahamkara as a construct named Anthony. So he tells him that he shouldn't embark upon so much liquor and should focus upon his actions. Had he shut the liquor away, he would have been able to defeat the Gangoons. But there's a catch. We need a cognitive approach to unraveling the two psyches. And what is better than a mirror? A mirror unmasks a persona like Anthony and also makes you wonder what is the angry young man talking about and to whom? A very abstract idea that Desai is trying to portray here is that there's nothing that is not ambiguous and there's nothing that is not rational. Amitabh Bachchan once recalled shooting an illogical blood donation scene that featured in this film. 3 sons of a mother donate her blood at the same time. The scene was criticized for being a medical improbability. The scene certainly wasn't scientific. It was to evoke emotions in you. And as they say, action speaks louder than words. I'd rather say emotions speak louder than actions.
So Tanvir, yeah. So when I first saw this video, I said, "Wow, you have given such a great reason to drink that it's a good excuse to meet your soul." But jokes apart, I think Tanvir is also, apart from being a filmmaking major, is a psychology minor, and those elements have come into your narrative here, and then it tells you, like, the crux of the narrative also, as I read it, your last slide, emotions speak louder than actions, and that's why action is a genre, emotion is a genre. The Hindi cinema, the Indian cinema, the film song are the epitome of that genre. And that's why Bollywood globally is known as a genre in itself. And the global understanding of Bollywood always is song and dance. And song and dance not just as song and dance, but an art form which has perfected the usage of the song and dance form as an emotive tool in the film form of narration, of which there are many. So if we have about 5 minutes, we can take some questions, and I would encourage you to ask him.
You've put a beautiful presentation and very thought-provoking at the same time. So I would like to understand what was the psychology behind choosing this subject.
That's a good question. I'm very much interested into the concept of anarchy, which emotions can basically unveil. So we know we all are deceptive, aren't we? We are, deception is our nature. We all wear a mask, which Greeks call persona. So and behind that mask we have the real us, right? The real you, the instinctive you. And basically emotions just make it pop. So it just, it's like a thin sheet, and these emotions are trying to invade it and basically, cross through it, and beyond that sheet lies the society, which is basically, all the societal norms that we have, the rules, the law, all of those regulations that we have, which we need to abide by. For example, you can't shoot someone in the middle of the road, even if you wanted to. So those kind of things are being controlled by this persona, by this sheet. It's not allowing your instinct, okay, which is basically the Freud said it as id, to basically invade the self and the superego. So basically, I love this concept, literally, and it's so relatable. It's like, it's like you're in a network, like a internet or in the World Wide Web, and you just put a virus there, and that virus keeps on invading, and it keeps on pulling your resources, and you're trying to block it through a firewall. So that concept seems to be like really cool to me, and that's why basically I thought about this ahamkara and atma and adideva, which was basically, I used the Indian theory of personality, and it goes so well, like AAA, Amar Anthony, and that AA. So it blended well.
Just one more thought here. How many of you have seen? How many of you know Manmohan Desai? No. Oh, not everybody.
You would have seen the movies, but nobody would know.
And but they are like what, undergrad students here, right? Yeah. And in Bombay, you will be amazed to know there are two very celebrated movie platforms in the world. One is Sight and Sound UK, and another is Census of Cinema, which comes from Australia. And Census of Cinema, in his latest list of auteurs, ranks Manmohan Desai among the greatest in the world, like Nolan, Fellini, Kurosawa. And it's sad that our own Indian students don't know that. I've been teaching cinema for 5 years at University of Edinburgh. I've been at festivals. You just have to go out and see the soft power. The real soft power of India is, I think, after all the IT engineers, it's Bollywood and the Indian song. And the way people study Indian cinema there, it is every major university in Europe and US has scholars, doctorates, fully funded PhDs doing these studies. And that's what amazes me, that you are in the city of Bollywood and you don't know, and half of you don't know Manmohan Desai. I mean, just brush up. These are our icons. I'll tell you what, the politicians, the business people, they all will come and go. A civilization is known by its artists. See, today we don't know Gupta age, or the age of the Mughals and all. Who are the names whose work has lived by? from Valmiki to Kalidas to Tansen to Tagore, the artists, every civilization is always remembered by the number of artists it's created and the number of art, and they happen because they respect them, celebrate them, know them, engage with them, because they talk to humanity before, humanity after. Most professions, they talk to humanity at the present, and that's why you should know your artist and you should be able to celebrate people like Manmohan Desai, and let not the world come and tell us how important he is to the art, cinema form in the world. Let us do that needful, and then only we will have more lists of Indian cinema and the greatest lists of all time. Right now it's just limited to one movie and one filmmaker.